Why am I never prepared when I turn on camera? I need to prepare before. What's up everybody, welcome back to my channel. So today's video I'm doing a book tag. I haven't done a book tag in a really long time. I haven't done a sit down video in a pretty long time. I do have some few vlogs that are coming up. I already started editing them, but I think this one will go up before those two vlogs, so I don't know. The tag video that I'm doing today is going to be the This or That Romance edition. I am in my romance era right now. I keep reading romance left and right. It is crazy. I am loving romance book right now, so I thought I would do this tag video. I saw that it's Heather from the Bookables that did this. She uploaded it like a few days ago, I think, and so I thought, why not? I want to do it as well, so here I am. Question number one is cliffhanger or happily ever after, and if you are talking about romance, I want a happily ever after. I think that's the like official thing about romance. If like compared to like women's fiction or literary fiction, it needs to have a happily ever after. So I mean, I want a happily ever after in a romance book. I want to feel all the love and all the feels and everything. So I need a happily ever after in a romance book. Number two is hardcover or paperback. This answer changed like really recently, and I'm gonna go with paperback. I used to love hardcovers. Obviously, I think they look gorgeous on shelf. I love the look of hardcovers, but reading them, I don't know if it's like I'm just not strong enough. But reading a really heavy hardcover in bed is so uncomfortable. I cannot do it lately. Like I just can't do it anymore. So I've been loving just reading some paperbacks. Next question is angsty or cutesy. That kind of depends on my mood, very honestly. I think I love a good angst romance. If I am in the mood for it, I am all up for it. But I do think I am more of a cutesy type of read. I mean, I don't know what you would consider cutesy, but if I had to choose one, maybe angst, just because that's what I'm on, like that's the kick that I've been on lately, I think, maybe. But it really depends on my mood. Sometimes I'm in the mood for an angsty romance, sometimes I'm in the mood for a cutesy romance, so I don't really know. That's a toss-up. Next is standalone or series, and for a romance book, 100% standalone, because I do feel like a lot of even series in romance you can read as standalone. Like for example, I'm currently reading the Dreamland Billionaire series by Lauren Asher. First of all, can we talk how Amazon did me dirty? Look at these spines. They're not like, I think this is self-published, and she recently got picked up by Bloom's book, which is, I mean, good for her. I'm really happy. But now my spines don't match. I'm kind of mad. But anyways, this is considered a series, but you can kind of read them as standalone. Like, I love when it's so, like, it's not the same couple. It's not a continuation of this book, so I feel like it still kind of counts as standalone. So that's why I would say standalone for a romance book. I rarely read actually true series in romance book. Next question is BookTok or Bookstagram. Probably BookTok lately, just because I've been on BookTok a lot. Like I recently not discovered because I've known about it for like a while, obviously, but I've recently like downloaded the app and started watching BookTok, which is just, I spend way too long on BookTok every day. So probably BookTok, but I do love Bookstagram as well, so I'm not on either of them really. I do have a Bookstagram, but I don't post on it. The next question, people or object on the cover, and that one is a hard one, very honestly. I will say, if we're talking about like these type of covers compared to like these type of cover, these one all the way. I don't love when there's like a sexy man on the cover, because I do take the subway every day to work and I read on the subway, and I don't want to be reading this on the subway. I feel like it's very awkward reading this in public. But when we're talking about like this is a cutesy type of cover, and there are people on it, and I really like these covers, like the drawing type of covers. I think they're so cute. So like if we're talking about like these two, I think I like this one, this type of cover a little bit better. Like I think this is more like traditionally published, and this is more like discreet, self-published type of covers. But I like both of them, honestly. But I really like these covers. I think they're so freaking cute and adorable. And not like this. She recently just redid her new covers, and I kind of want to buy that one instead, because I don't want to, like, this has like stopped me from actually reading this book, because a few times I've been wanting to pick it up, and then I just could not bear myself reading this in public, because I mean. Next question is new release or backlist. And for a romance book, I think I am more of a new release gal, what was that? I don't know. I think I'm more of a new release girl. I stay more on top of my new releases for romance book compared to like fantasy. I have a whole bunch of backlist book to read for my fantasy books, but romance book, I'm on top of my new releases. There's obviously a few backlist books that I do want to read, because I mean there's so many books, but normally I'm better at reading my new releases, so I think I'm gonna go with new release for that one. Next is TBR or free for all. I don't know if you guys realize this, but I haven't really uploaded a TBR in a few months now, because I just think TBR were not for me. They were just really not helping my reading mood. Just having a set books, like a set of few books that I had to read, like I had to read, was just not helping me. And so I recently stopped doing TBR's video, and I've been reading a ton. So I do think maybe I'm more of a free for all, like moody type of booktuber, or reader I should say, because having no TBRs in the last few months have helped me and got me back into a reading mood, and also got me back into a physical reading mood that I wasn't in for a few months now. So I'm gonna say free for all. Open door or fade to black. So basically, do you want steaminess in your books, or do you want no steaminess in books? And I'm gonna go with a cheat out maybe once again, but it depends on my mood. Sometimes I'm up for a very cutesy, no sex scenes in my romance book, and sometimes I want all the sex scenes in the books. So it really depends on my mood. I think lately I've been in a closed door mood, like closed door romance mood. But I do still like some few sex scenes here and there in books, like books with no sex scenes at all, like romance book. I don't know if I like that. I still want a few sex scenes. Yeah, so it's kind of a mixture of both. I'm not someone who will read like erotica books or like books with a lot of sex scenes, even though I have read like the Sinner's duet by Sophie Lark, and I love that duet, and that one is very steamy. So I don't know, it really depends on my mood. Sometimes I'm up for sex scenes, sometimes I really don't want them in my books. So it really depends. So that's a toss-up. I'm sorry. Next one is audiobook or ebooks, and once again, depends on my mood, but probably audiobooks. I do read more audiobooks than ebooks. I've been really loving my Kindle lately, but still, it's an old Kindle. I've been debating if I wanted to buy a new one, but it still works. So I really don't want to, I can't really justify buying a new one, but I just want one because mine is really old. There's no touch screen. It's just, it's one of the, like, I think it's like second generation or something. It's a really old one, like 2011 or 12, I think. So I've been wanting a new one, but I think I'm gonna go with audiobooks. I do listen to a lot of audiobooks. I love audiobooks. Kindle or not. So yeah, I do love Kindles. I do like reading on my phone. I've been reading on my phone a lot. I love mixed media type of reading. So I love having a book physically, having the audiobook, and having the ebooks. That way I am for sure going to be reading the book, meaning if I'm at home, I can just read it physically. If I'm doing stuff, I can pop on the audiobook, and then if I'm in transit, I would just read it on my phone. And I do own a lot of books in like several different media because I have a problem. Matte or glossy? I'm gonna have to say matte. I think I love the self-published matte type of covers. They're so like buttery and super soft. I hate the spines because you break the spines super easily. I love a good floppy book, but I love a good matte. I look like I'm like this is weird. But I love a good matte cover. Buddy read or solo? Probably solo. I love loose buddy reads, meaning we read a book for the whole month and then at the end of the book we kind of talk about it. But having like set number of pages we have to read every day or every week or something, it's just too much pressure on me, and I can't do it. I only read one book at a time. So, which is another question, I think. It doesn't make sense for me to have like, you need to read 50 pages today and then the next 50 pages on the next week. And it just, if I do that, I end up not reading any other books. And it takes me like a week and a half to read one book. So I think I'm more of a solo type of reader. A small town or dark romance? Right now, small town. I'm loving small town romance. But I do love a good dark romance. But I do think I have read more small town romance, so probably small town, but I love both. It's hard. I can't choose. New adult or adult? That one as well is really hard. I had a really big phase of like new adult, especially when it first came out. I loved new adult, but I think now I am more of a adult. Like, I don't know, is this considered adult or new adult? I'm not sure. Is new adult when they're in college? If that's the case, then adult for sure. If this is a new adult, because they're like younger. But I mean, even in this, they're younger. But I think adult. I think I'm gonna go with adult. Print or marathon series? I'm guessing that's like, do you read series like back to back, or do you take a really long time to read series? And for romance book, I think I do sprint my series. If I were talking about fantasy, it would be the opposite. But for series, I do like reading my romance back to back. So marathoning my series. No, sprinting my series. Sprinting. Yeah, sprint. Alpha or sweetheart? Heroes. That one is a hard one. Probably like a mixture of both. I think that's everyone's answer. We love a good alpha hero that has a sweet spot for the heroine. I think that's kind of the best of both worlds. Best of both world. I love a good alpha, I think. I think most of the books that I read have alpha male love interest, so I think that's what I'm going to be choosing. Next one is read multiple books or one book at a time, and I read normally one book at a time. I do sometimes have like an audiobook and a physical book, so at most it's going to be 2 books, but most of the time it is one book at a time. I do read like, especially romance book, I read them in a day or 2 days, so they take me not a lot of time to read, so I am gonna read one at a time normally. Baddie or damsel in distress heroine? I think I love a baddie. I love a good strong heroine that can stand on her own, that has her shit together, and she's just a strong woman. We love that, so I'm gonna go with a baddie heroine. And then the last question is slow burn or Instalove, and I'm gonna go with neither. Kind of. Obviously, I don't love Instalove. I think it gets on my nerve a lot. I love a good slow burn, but if it's too much of a slow burn, I just check out and I can't do it anymore, and I don't care anymore about the characters. So it really has to be well done for a slow burn, for the slow burn for me to be reading. I do not like too much of a slow burn, but at the same time, I don't like too much of an Instalove. But if I had to choose, probably a slow burn. Because I mean, Instalove is just so annoying. So yeah guys, that's it. Those were all the questions. I would love it if you guys would comment down below with your answers. I would love to know. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope you guys have a wonderful day or night depending on when you're watching it. And I will see you guys next time. Bye!